Hi guys, this is Steph from MMTV. Today we are with Miss Cassidy Paris, young rising star from Australia here in Melbourne. Hi Cassidy, thanks for joining us.
Thank you for having me, Steph. It's great to be on here.
So we're going to discuss plenty of things today. Yep. Obviously, new album which is Bittersweet, out on November 21. So please guys, don't hesitate. That album's going to be a killer. So tell me, let's start from the beginning. I know that you've collaborated with Paul Lane on many occasions. What was that conversation like when you first met? Did you, although you were young, did you already have in mind, I'm going to ask him this, I'm going to ask him to collaborate with me?
Yeah.
How did you feel about meeting Paul for the first time and especially starting working with him or collaborating with him?
I think Paul was he was just a nice person from the beginning, like very much a down-to-earth musician, and that was something that I was drawn to instantly. Obviously, like I've listened to Danger and The Defiance, and I was a big fan of both of those projects, but I loved Paul's solo stuff as well. So when my dad's backing band backed him in Australia for the first time, I was just in awe of him. I remember being a little kid and just being like, this man is like rock and roll Mozart. Like, he is just incredible. Yeah. And it was so cool because he really, we developed like a friendship with my parents, obviously, and he developed a friendship with me and my brother as well. And that was really cool because I think that, like, I grew up in the scene, obviously, with, Black Majesty and, Danny Chicardi, and it was always cool for me. So it was kind of no different with Paul. But, of course, like, it was different because he was international.
Right. Yeah.
And, it was great for me because, like, I had this musician that I looked up to, and he was nice enough to take me under his wing. So it was a very cool experience. And I felt very much like I always wanted to be a sponge to him. And I constantly do, like, I speak about that a bit, but like, he is just the nicest person on earth, and I just feel very privileged to work with him.
He is absolutely adorable. I mean, he's Canadian, so he's nice.
Exactly.
He comes with it. But no, that's great. And when did you officially ask him to write with you? Or it kind of ended up being natural? Like, did you start singing around him? Or
yeah, it was funny. I actually watched the video, like the first video where we sang together, and I think it was, I hate to say this for all the rock and roll fans, but it was a Taylor Swift song that we sang together. And it's cool because, like, having that memory and looking back on it and all the things we've done since then is amazing. But I think it was a bit of a conversation. Like I said to my dad probably initially that I really would love to get into music. And my dad, reached out to Paul, and what better than having Paul Lane as your mentor? Like,
that's right. Yeah,
the best in the industry.
Correct. Yeah. And I guess when you told your dad first, I really want to get into music, I bet that's something that he was like,
yes, one of my children.
And this one.
Yeah, exactly.
No, that's cool. And I mean, look, that's a good thing to have musicians in the family or in your surrounding you generally, because it opens doors for you, but which is great. So it's always a great support. So when you can work with people in that industry, such as Paul Lane, who is an absolutely fantastic, not only singer, but songwriter as well.
Exactly, that's it.
He's just got so much ease to it.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But yeah, obviously you will continue to meet a lot of people. Paul Lane will always hold that special spot in your heart, obviously. And I think in all of ours, we love him. He's awesome. Is there any other artists that you have met, someone you were you grew up on type of thing, you were really who's the most inspirational for you? Which one did you meet that really left
like
an
a
impact,
mark on
like
you?
a mark
Yeah.
on you?
There's been a few, obviously Paul being one of them, but I think for me, like, meeting Janet Gardner from Vixen was a huge one for me. And I remember receiving the email to get up on stage with her to sing, Every Broken Heart. And that's like one of my favorite tracks of all time. And it's funny because it's a bit of a full circle thing too, because it was the first thing my dad and I ever uploaded
Right.
on Facebook. And I remember singing that with him, and, you know, it got a great reaction. And that was kind of like what got me into it. And then I remember seeing the email that they had suggested that we sing it together. I was like, no way, this is insane. And she came up to me and she was just so cool. And, you know, her partner Justin as well was just so cool to me. And they were like, I've heard New Sensation. And I was like, what do you mean you've heard my album? Like, it just really buzzed me out. And she's been someone I've looked up to for many years, obviously along with so many other females that kind of paved the way. But yeah, it was great to kind of have that experience with her, and the connection with her was amazing.
That's great. No, it's always good. I mean, I know they don't say don't meet your heroes, but in some ways, when you're lucky enough to meet the people that really mean something to you, and you just, you know, climb the steps and just get there. It's great. No, it's fantastic. Now, fans will have their own views of your evolution musically.
Yeah.
How do you see it from the very beginning? Like, I'm thinking about Talk About It, you know, the Wannabe Days, Song for the Brokenhearted, which, you know, my daughter absolutely loves.
Yeah.
How do you view yourself? Like, how do you see your journey, really, the evolution of it?
I think it's kind of been like a natural progression. I think with the new record as well, like New Sensation, I think it's kind of a natural progression in the way of, like, it is a little bit more edgy. Like, you know, there are songs like Nothing Left to Lose where, you know, I go a little bit harder than some of the songs on the first record. And I like that because I think you're always evolving as an artist. And I feel like for the first time ever in music, you know, like, obviously I started out really young, but for the first time I'm like coming into myself as an artist, and I really know what I want and like where I want to go with things. And it takes you a while to kind of, you know, get on your feet and figure out what you want to be as an artist. And I feel like with Bittersweet, I really fully came into that. And that's why I'm so excited about this record, because it just feels like very authentically me. And, you know, even the title, like, I came up with Bittersweet a long time ago, the name of the record, but it could not be more
appropriate.
More appropriate, exactly.
Correct,
So, you know, that whole, you know, it's a bit of like a prophecy I've been calling this album, because everything on it is very much, you know, so relative to what I've gone through this year.
Right, yes, because you had some obstacles along the way this year with the UK tour being so and not on your part, but being so unprofessionally cancelled. You know, obviously there were issues. Were things done properly? Absolutely not.
Yes,
and you know, like, I think everybody felt for you at that moment, because that was something that you as an artist not only were looking forward to, but wanted to do for people waiting out there, waiting for you to arrive. And I understand that you were devastated that you had to cancel the tour. And it's such a really, really bad situation. But talking about that, like, I mean, there are obstacles always. You've always seemed to be building throughout your journey. And I mean, I've known you for a long time, to say the least.
Since my hair was curly.
Just like mine. But like, I mean, your evolutions, it seems like you getting stronger and stronger and stronger, and you build that resilience. Is that something, what's your thought process on that? Like, when something like that, so drastic, so unprofessional, unfair, unruly happens to you, what is the first thing you think of to get back up on your feet and keep going?
You know what? Music. Like, I remember being in the position, and, like, you know, everyone around me saw it. You know, I was heartbroken by that situation, as would anyone that went through something like that. It was, you know, it impacted me not only professionally, but, you know, personally, financially, every other aspect that you can think of, it impacted me in that way. And, you know, the situation literally had me in hospital because I did not know how to cope, but music was literally my coping mechanism. And I've spoken a little bit about it in the past, but really this year I fully understood how much, you know, the power of music can have on someone, because it was my reason for getting up every day. Like, I remember you know, if I was sad, I would go to music. If I was, you know, angry, I would go to music. If I, you know, I just needed music so much, you know, and Stronger was my response to that, you know, and I felt so lucky because I had, you know, so many heavyweights be involved in that. Obviously, Paul's been in my journey for so long, and to be able to collaborate with him and my dad, who is such, you know, has had a massive impact on my career. And then Pete Lesperance from Harum Scarum, you know, you have so many people that are just good people in the industry, and that's what I really needed to be reminded of at that point in, you know, in my journey then, because my thing is I want to work with good people. And then you know, you see that through your Pauls and your Petes and you know, Steve from Wicked Smile and Danny Ciccardi. You see that, you know, that family connection, and I love that so much because it was literally what got me through that alongside music.
Yeah, no, it was a tough time and tough thing to recover from too. And I think you've done an amazing job.
Yeah.
And I think, you know, we've all seen the growth, not only musically, but in little Cassidy, like we usually call you, you know, we saw you grow, we saw you becoming very resilient. And I mean, I think the album will show it.
Thank you.
Will show a lot of strength, a lot of power, a lot of, you know what, screw you.
Yeah.
Gonna do this. And that's the best way to go about it. So I'm really, really happy, and I'm sure you guys are going to be really, really happy about it as well. Once you hear the record, it's going to be fantastic. Now, I want to chat about something a tad different.
Yeah, I love it.
Hear me out. We're in 2025 now.
Yeah.
AI is coming about.
Yeah.
And I have been shocked by some of the stuff that comes out musically, and you like, you know, you just go onto AI and say, hey, write a song about winter, and it comes out with the best damn riffs, best music, best vocals, and killer songs. And it's like, in my opinion, it will kill music. It's how do you feel about it? Like, when you see those things are possible so easily, what does that make you feel as an artist? And what do you think it will do to music in future?
It's damn scary, for starters. Like, you know, to see, I think for me, music's always been about feel. And I think with AI, that's hopefully something that it can't replicate. You know, when you hear Ronnie James Dio sing, it's all about feel. It's about the passion, you know, and I'd like to believe that could not be, you know, felt in AI music. And that's what I think will be the savior of that. But it is damn scary to see how good it's getting at, you know, producing that sort of catalog of music, you know, like, especially in like the, you know, our scene, people are talking about it now.
Yeah.
And even 1 year, 2 years ago, we weren't having this conversation because it wasn't producing it to that standard. AI is, you know, it is very freaky to see what it can do. And, you know, I think it's going to take a new generation and a new wave to kind of bring in that, you know, that sense of feel with music. And that's one thing I love about the rock scene as well, is that everyone is so connected and everyone can feel, you know, can feel those emotions. And I think that even in generally speaking, the pop scene, that is something that is kind of missing, that I think the rock scene really holds, and that's important. But it is I it's a conversation that, you know, that has just kind of come into play because you know, like I said, when I was growing up, we weren't having this conversation about AI because it didn't exist. So it's what's going to be the conversation in 5 years' time.
Exactly. And I mean, you went through it, through the whole learning process as an artist too. You know, you learn to play the guitar, you learn to sing, you know, there's so much learning. And if there's no passion, if there's no soul, if there's no heart, how would you cope? I wouldn't. I don't want AI music, I want real music.
Exactly. That's it. And you know, like, even with live shows, you're never going to have a robot create that sense of connection that you get with a live show.
That's right.
And you have to keep learning. And as much as, you know, people would probably argue otherwise, I don't think you can teach a robot. You know, you can't teach him, you know, guitar licks and stuff. You can't do that.
No.
But it is definitely scary, but in terms of the writing of music.
Yes.
But
Whether
I
it's
think,
lyrics or music itself.
yeah,
It
that's
is very scary. I agree. So tell me, we've got some great stuff going on.
Yes.
That's going to come. First of all, the album is coming on the 21st. And yes, I'm going to take my notes. Thank you. And April 12th to April the 17th, Monsters of Rock Cruise. You excited?
I'm so excited. And when I tell you, Steph, this has been like the thing I've wanted to do for so many years. Like, I remember looking at the lineup and just with hard eyes every single year, just thinking, I wish I could go on that. So when I got the call up, I was just over the moon excited because, you know, there are some people on that bill like Lita Ford, Nelson, Striper, Black Label Society, like all those bands. I looked up to so much to be able to share the stage with them. Just even look at your name on the bill next to those bands is just like so freaky for me.
So you go like, oh, that's me.
Yeah. I'd have to do a double take sometimes, and it is really, really cool, you know, and it's bands that I grew up listening to in the car with my dad. So it's such a cool full circle moment for me and him to just look back. And, you know, you would understand with your daughter when she likes something that, you know, that you grew up on. It is just such a cool connection.
It is.
Yeah, bond. Yeah.
It is. You know, she loves a Judas Priest.
Yeah.
That's one good one.
Yeah. Good parenting, that's what that is.
Good parenting. Exactly. No, but yeah, like it's fantastic to see you going from you know, from our local clubs here and, you know, little shows to being projected on a cruise like that. It's fantastic. Following that, any tour planning that you can reveal?
Yeah, well, we have the May tour, the UK tour, which is called Finish What We Started tour, and very much
piss people off.
Yeah. Yeah, and I you know what I like about the name as well is it's very fitting.
It's very very fitting.
And it is a song on Bittersweet here, and I just feel like, you know, I could not be more excited for it, and it just feels like everything is kind of like falling into place. But obviously that's as a result of like working on myself and working on everything. It takes a village. It really does. You know, there are so many people involved trying to make this happen. And I just feel so lucky, like even for the support online. I'm touring, obviously. I'm also going to Made of Stone. Yes, Made of Stone. I had to do a double take then. I have to think about my dates. But yeah, I've got Made of Stone, which is lined up for next year as well. Nice. In, I believe it's late July or early August. And that's going to be a cool show too. Like, I can't wait to play that festival. It'll definitely be a lot of fun. We've got a bunch of things penciled in for next year that I can't yet say.
It's going to be a busy year.
It's going to be a busy year. Like, I am overseas almost as much as I'm in Australia, which is wild to say, you know, like the opportunities that are coming from this new record. And, you know, I can't wait to be able to see people and, you know, talk about this new record and connect with them on stage with these new songs. It's going to be fun.
That's going to be a lot of fun, and I'm sure a lot of people are looking forward to it. They've been probably waiting for a whole year now to see you back in the UK. So that's fantastic too. Anything you would say to your fans out there watching Middlemat TV? Any message for them wherever they are? Yeah,
I think for me, it's kind of getting through it was really... It's difficult to see the light sometimes. And that's something that I kind of been speaking about a little bit, but it is really difficult to see the light when you're going through such a difficult situation. And I think that just focus on something that you're really passionate about. Like, for instance, my solace was music, and I just really, really honed in on that. And, you know, stood by family and friends, and I genuinely could not have done what, you know, I've done with this record without, you know, even the record label have been so loyal and so believing in me, and you know, they've been fostering these qualities for quite some time now, and I feel very lucky that they believe in me so much. It's difficult, and you're going to have a rough trot, but you can get through it at the end of the day, and I think that's something really important to remember.
And struggle is a part of the success in that sense.
It is.
And I think maybe, you know, with that album coming out, it's your way of saying, you know what, yes, you did this.
Yeah.
But now I'm in charge.
Exactly.
And
yeah.
karma is a bitch.
Exactly. I've never felt more in charge of where I'm going with this, and I think that next year is the beginning of a very exciting era.
Amazing. And that exciting new era is starting with Bittersweet. So please, people, do not hesitate. Go and get your hand on that album. It also comes in a very, very nice looking red vinyl and gold vinyl.
It does.
So for you guys, we do have plenty of things to talk about with Cassidy. I will suggest you go to CassidyParis.com and check out her merch, where you will be able to find not only the album, but the LP options available as well, t-shirts and all that jazz. So guys, I just want to say big thank you, Cassidy, for joining us. I really appreciate your time.
Thank you.
And next time we have you on here, let's hope for another great album coming through as well, and maybe some coverage of the tour or coverage of a local show.
Yeah, exactly.
We'll be there watching.
And
Thanks
exclusive.
so much. Exclusive for Metal Mad TV.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Metal Mad TV, and thanks, Steph. I appreciate it.
Thanks, guys. Keep on rocking. Bye.